This is what Donna Marshall had to say regarding the Illuminati and children at the cloning centers. They torture people for sport, rape them, and molest and rape and torture children for sport, for a macabre spectacle of death. They have a bunch of kids buried out at the cloning center, all mummified looking like those gold foil roasted babies, but no gold foil, and they did these satanic rituals on them as they died and buried them in the dirt in the center arena dirt there. And I also wanted to get them dug up in proper burial because they got the worst burial ever. They do bestiality stuff there too, on kid clones, and they sit around and watch. Whole thing is unbelievably sick, and they've only gotten worse and worse in depravity. It's off the scale of perversion. Philip and Elizabeth like to strangle children, cloned and real. That's what they used to do with the native children that disappeared, would strangle them and watch them die. Sometimes Philip would crush their testicles in his other hand while he choked the kid tied up. And when you say that sounds unbelievable and how could someone do that, I have to say I don't know why they did and do this. They clone children and have dogs have sex with them while they masturbate in the stands. Yeah, I said masturbate. Foster care kids get victimized at cloning a lot. Wards of the court, group home kids. Sometimes they treated it like a religious thing. Tried to say it was God or Satan whispering a song to me from another dimension. They're idiots. People bring their children there and say we have to go be with quote-unquote Jesus at the cloning center, hear his holy made songs, and be there with him, for him. Translation. We your parents want an excuse to bring you, our kids, here to blur your mind with MK Ultra and drugs as clones, so we and your grandparents can perv on you and molest you with an alternate premise. Makes us look like less of perverts. And we say we were hostages here too, but we just say that to keep kids scared, and we will trade you to other like-minded perverts in exchange for other children to molest when we get bored of molesting you. It's a pedophile paradise. When they rape a child, they feel as if they've achieved a victory somehow over someone, the child, and get a sense of power from it, knowing that they won't be caught for it because it will be covered up. Some of them go on drugs and kill the child afterwards because it's some caveman thing. Get rid of the evidence, sense of power, not getting caught for child rape murder. Also, when a real lizard drones someone, making the human its host, sometimes the penis ceases to develop from that point, and the drone is stuck with 12-year-old junk for life, and say they need to as the parts fit, and drones are naturally predisposed to molesting children. It's very weird. Mostly it's just some of these losers are fat, ugly, and would have a difficult time getting a prostitute to agree being that old, ugly, and retarded. Also, they don't want to pay for it. They want to feel like they've done something wrong and got away with it, and kids can't fight back and are scared more easily. Also, sometimes the molester was molested themselves as a child by their own parents, and they keep the quote-unquote tradition going to make themselves believe it's just a normal part of life. Their parents weren't perverts, lol. They were just normal. It's a normal lifestyle, lol. Some families add religion to the mix to make it look like as if they have to molest their children in a religious secret tradition. Germans call it Vaterland or something similar. Keeps the cycle going. At the zone, they're blabbing at me like I'm the diddler police, as clones out there. Why can't I have sex with my son or daughter, Donnie? My child is my personal property and no one can tell me what I can and can't do with my own child if I want to, they say. So I told them it's gross, this and that, and they act all insulted and attack. Then new clone. Back to the monotonous, absurd talking. If I stay silent, they just attack, saying, don't ignore us, Donnie, don't ignore us. Fat old man, bald, ugly as hell, flailing his arms on my face while my clone is paralyzed in the dirt of the arena. I said, why you're asking me? They just have nothing to do or say out there. It's basically a child molester factory. They keep the premise of, oh, Donnie's going to get us all to have something to talk about besides assembly-line child molesting. Because, as clones at first, it's interesting. Turn your pain sensors off and get your arm chopped off in no pain, staring at the stump. Whoa, that's gross. They jump off of heights, clone dies, and they transfer into the next clone, and they're like, whoa, that's neat. Sword fight and don't die, occasional clone sex with a celebrity that just doesn't care. It loses the novelty after a very short time. And then there's the child molesting, and the senior citizens there that know no one wants to have sex with them, so they spend most of their time there trying to look powerful, scary, deadly, and scare children into never saying no. People pretend they are hostages out there, parents, so the kids won't think they're just perverts, and the parents can secretly trade the kids around for other kids from other people there. Grossest stuff you've ever seen or heard of ever. The League of Incredible Losers. Incredibly yuck. Worse than you can imagine. And they all sit around and watch these encounters from the stands, like theater, molestation theater, pain theater, death theater. They all try to act unified, lol. They don't even hang with each other in real life. Too embarrassed of their behavior they are and ashamed, lol. But there, while clones, they all act like they're friends. and they're in power club together. They are quote-unquote powerful. Yuck. It is that degree of loserdom and worse. Every once in a while a kid will be defiant and say he or she doesn't want to engage in the repulsive stuff. Other kids agree. It's almost a mini mutiny at the cloning center. So while some kids are memory repressed about the clone center times, people like Elizabeth and Charles get the kid killed in some way, and then say at the cloning center, look what happened to him. Then the kids don't say anything out of fear. Sometimes they show the kids murder on video to scare the kids there into compliance. Sometimes someone will say they don't want to participate or doesn't want their daughter or son messed with and they want out. Others agree. They will start to degrade the ringleader's life in any way possible to discourage others from talking that way, bring him back for private mental manipulation therapy as clones, weasel into his and his wife's life in any way possible, get them fired, impersonate them as clones to the rest of their family members, and turn them against them in dramatic ways. Get them fired from their jobs and privately will continue to bring the kid there and mess that kid up bad, causing the kid to act erratic in real body and not know why. Memory suppress about clone time. Give them children's aid trouble if possible, anything and everything, and they videotape what they do, and show others there, look, this guy wanted out. Then Elizabeth says in an official voice, we are worse than the Italian Mafia, and you don't leave the Italian Mafia. It's the goofiest thing, but every once in a while they feel the need to make a new example of someone. When people talk about it, they get killed or rendered mentally disabled remotely. I'm amazed I'm still alive, actually. Illuminati equals League of Extraordinary Child Molesters. So much happening at the cloning center now, and things said it would be a long time relating it all. Bunch of people want to leave, but don't want to lose their jobs or be mentally manipulated for the insult of leaving. Only people that want to keep the place going are old, ugly, fat people, the mentally handicapped, massively inbred people, and the scuzziest perverts. Most want out. Old rich people threatening and scaring people there into compliance. It is quite the scene. Many sex slaves sold out by their parents in exchange for their parents to get access to other children, and they're usually not tortured. They've been shown footage of me getting tortured as a deterrent from protesting. Many people use for talents. They clone businessmen, steal their ideas, inventors, anything. Beat the ideas out of them and leave their memory suppressed. If they ever start to kick up a fuss, they are killed. The whole place is held together by old, fat, ugly perverts. No one except greedy people and perverts want to go to the cloning center. And even the parents play that they are scared hostages in front of their children sometimes, so they can play games on kids. Like, get filthy with this man, or we will kill your mother, or something like that. It's all they do. Torture people they don't like and bang children and each other while doing crazy drugs. They don't care about privacy. They just do it in the dirt in front of everyone. It lowers the inhibitions of everyone there. Children they bring there need a familiar face to talk to. All they do is scream and cry. That is where Joy Geyser comes in. She is married to my half-brother from my father's first marriage. Joy Geyser is a girl guide leader, and when they clone in girl guides, she speaks to them, keeps them calm, and pretty much pimps them for free, knowing the children will have their memories repressed and will not talk about it in real life. All the Geysers are in this stuff. Many people that could also be polygraph tested, independent polygraph testers. Because the police testers in my city of Halifax, Nova Scotia are compromised, they cover up for child molesters. As I said, commissionaires and CSIS are heavily involved. All it will take is a few lie detector tests to prove these things. I will take them and demand my mother and stepfather submit to them as well. It would be as easy as that. They've told me they won't even attempt to lie on a polygraph. Elizabeth has the children there call her quote-unquote Lilibet and does ungodly things to them. Some she fakes being nice to. Some she is terrible to, cutting them with swords while they scream. The decent people that are there against their will are afraid to say anything against them. Most have their children there as kind of hostage to be torn apart if they even think of informing anyone. It doesn't matter who you are. If you have a cute child or a child with a money-making ability, like song-making, they will clone your child and molest them. It's a pedophile's paradise and must be stopped. Do nothing and allow them to continue to clone your children and sisters and wives, sons, cause them to have learning disabilities, unexplained depression, and suicidal thoughts. All kinds of side effects.